West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
A very good morning to you watching Western Television, wherever you're catching the show live from. My name is Dennis Oringi, and this is Kokoliriko Show. It's a show that comes away every Monday through Friday, right here on Western Television. We are coming to you live from the heart of Arua City for your information. For those who, it is your first time maybe to tune into Western Television, wherever you're catching the show live from. If you're catching us live from Arua City, very good morning to you. Thank you very much for always being with us, and those who are catching us live from Marasha, Kobokoyumbe, Ajumani Moyo, and not forgetting those in Obongi, good morning. And those in Mariokol as well, good morning. Thank you very much for being with us. Those in the Residual Arua District, Devora County, good morning, and we do appreciate you very much always for waking up together with us. And those who are catching us live from Zombu, Nebi, and Pakwash, good morning. And those in Bulisa, Hoi, Masindi, Kiriadongo, we thank you very much for joining us this morning. It is already 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Right here, I will be taking you till the hour of 8:30 a.m. in the morning as usual. And today happened to be Tuesday, 14th of March 2023. And my name is Dennis Oringi, for those who would wish to know who I am exactly. So I am here to give you the updates and on what is happening and what has happened. And it is important that you should be able to get to know what is happening in your country, Uganda. For your information, you need to know that today the former that is Electoral Commission officers will be handed over to Uganda National Road Authority today at exactly 9 a.m. And the traffic has been diverted by police, and that's according to the traffic police officer of Kampala, trying to give the direction. And for those who will be planning to use that particular road, that is the Ginger Road, you have to go that the road has been diverted. And because Electoral Commission has got their new offices, and they will be handing over their former offices to that is the Uganda National Road Authority, where the executive director, Ms. Ellen Kajina, will be sitting right there. So that is information that I felt it is important and I should be able to tell you this morning. All right, a teacher has been remanded to prison after he was found guilty of caning a student, and according to the Children Act, Article 94, that states clearly that nobody will be allowed to cane a child, and once a child is caned, and that is criminal in nature, and you are liable to be in prison. So for the teachers, make sure that when you're handling these children, you have to be very careful, because the Children Act, Article 94, does not allow these children to be caned, and once you have caned them and they run to the court of law, you will be charged. And also, the issue of corporal punishment was disbanded in 1999. So the corporal punishment stopped way back in 1999. So it is something that you need to do. So caning is prohibited and it is not accepted currently under the Ugandan law and also the Children Act, and this is something that I felt it is important that I should be able to bring to your attention. All right, dear viewer, you need to know that in actually sub-region Gulu City, MTN Uganda, in partnership with Kwaro, actually they were able to organize a bicycle race in the name of ending teenage pregnancy in that particular chiefdom, and that is actually a chiefdom right there. So MTN has been partnering with different cultural institutions that we have in this country to see that the fight against teenage pregnancy and early child marriage is really jointly fought. And I can remember last year they were also with Alur Kingdom as a partner, together with Plan International, Alur Kingdom, MTN partnering to see how they can really continue with the talk against teenage pregnancy and early child marriage. And I can also remember there is the West Nile role model, the role model being the state For all of Uganda, Honorable Kuyoshin Dress Freedom, also speaking to the young girls, more especially those who got pregnant during COVID-19 and those girls who are finding it a little bit very hard for them to stay in school. And State Minister for Northern Uganda has been selected as the role model here to talk to these young girls by Alu Kingdom in partnership with the Plan International. So the talks should really continue. And you have to know that in the past we used to have our aunties who would really advise these young girls, but currently the story might be different. I do not know what is happening in your area, whether it is the same, where we have the aunties always having sittings with these young girls, telling them reality in life and telling them that, you know, you will reach at a certain age that you will be able to start seeing your menstrual period, and it is normal for you to see that as a young girl, and what you need to do, this is how you're supposed to take care of yourself during that particular period. And we expect this conversation to continue among the young girls and also the aunties that we do have, even the mothers. It is good always to be with your child who is a lady. It's always good to be with your daughter, as you always tell her what always happened in life. But you should be very open to these young girls, that you'll reach an age that men will begin approaching you, boys will begin approaching you, and this is how you're supposed to handle these boys, and this is how you're supposed to respond to these boys. So the conversation about sexuality education should really continue. It's quite unfortunate that when this particular agenda is really thrown to the public, there are those who are against sexuality education. There are those who say that they are against sexual education, but they are not against sexuality education, because when you talk about sexuality education, it's too broad. You understand? Could it be that because we do not want to embrace sexuality education in our schools, and that's why we are hearing issues to do with lesbianism, homosexuality, the LGBTQ issue coming on? But because if these young boys, young girls are being told that, look here, you will fall in love, and as a man, it is by nature that you will be, you know, engaged with a girl, not with your fellow man. I think as we act against the sexual education in our schools, we need to begin promoting sexual education in our school, or the sexuality education in our schools, because if we keep quiet about this particular matter, then we are leaving room for homosexuality and lesbianism to crop up in our schools, because the target groups of people who are being targeted in this homosexuality issue, it is the learners that we have in these schools. So what can we do? I think it is time now we begin teaching these learners that, look here, if you're a man, you're going to marry a woman. Open. You understand? You will never fall in love with a man, you know, the intimate, relationship with your fellow man. And if you're a lady, time will come that you will be able to fall in love with a gentleman. And this conversation should really continue, and this should be told to these learners when they are still in these lower primary schools, and also the pre-primary school, the primary school, and the post-primary school. So if we have the conversation everywhere, it will not give room for homosexuality to breed in this particular country. But if we forget to tell these young girls and young boys what they need to know, then they will know what they are not supposed to know. And that is what I can tell you this morning, that some of these conversations that we are having currently in our country, Uganda, about homosexuality and lesbianism, it is because those who know are not telling those who do not know what they are supposed to know. So can we begin telling those who do not know what they are supposed to know in as far as life is concerned? I am a person who believes in giving the information and telling this person. It is not a crime. I know in some culture it is a taboo for you to mention certain things, but let us move away from that. That particular mindset of saying it is a taboo, it's against my culture. But now if the members of your culture are really doing something that is not supposed to be done, then we need to go against the taboo, and we shall not be reprimanded for doing that. What is wrong by you telling this young man that, you see, what God has given you there, this is how you are supposed to use it? but you don't use it now, but you'll use it in future. Can we have that kind of conversation? Can we have that kind of education going on? Because I've seen learning social studies, English language, mathematics, and science, in which the science is adulterated. We don't want to mention certain things to these learners. Then where are we taking these learners? At the end of the day, they will become homosexuals, they will become lesbians, and we shall begin disturbing our members of parliament to go to parliament to enact laws against homosexuality. Yet, what we can do to change the mindset of these people, to make these people understand it is right from our schools that we do have. Just allow sexuality education to be taught, or the sexual education to be taught in schools. It's better. I know somebody will be saying that, no, you're going to promote wrong things, the religious people will come in here, but currently we are talking about homosexuality. Are they not the one trying to march against this issue of homosexuality? So if we are against certain things, we need to identify where the problem is, and we can begin solving that problem from there after a problem has been identified. So we cannot be just drumming around after knowing that the problem is this and that, and we just drum around. So we should be able to handle the problem by its own, and we see how we can really get rid of this particular matter. So that is something I felt it is important that I should be able to bring to your attention this morning. All right, dear viewer, you need to know that the gentleman, the UPDF soldier who shot dead a young man in Bondo on 25th of December 2022 on Christmas Day, when he was sent to go and buy alcohol for him because the UPDF soldier was drunk and he shot this young man dead. So yesterday the court martial sat at Bondo Army Barracks, and they were able to pass. And more of that information will be coming to you during our Nightcast news hour at 7 p.m. Today in the evening. We do Christine Okumuriga right there. So you will be able to get to understand whether justice has been given to the young man who has lost his life. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And those who died of the bullets, gun bullets, I also do say this morning that may your souls rest in eternal peace. More especially those who were killed under unclear circumstances, and so it do happen. I know those that were also shot dead during the 2021 campaigns right there in Kampala and also other parts of this country. So we pray for your souls as well. And more of that we shall be able to avail you later on in our subsequent news bulletin that will be coming today. And it's something I felt is important I should be able to bring to your attention this morning as we continue to give you more information. The issue of cancer is really eating up our country, and I think we need to get down. The scientists, I do not know what people are doing to come out and identify what are the causes of cancers and how can we avoid this cancer. Because if you are to go to the Cancer Institute at Malago, I have to tell you the number of women who are suffering from this cancer. It's very unfortunate the majority of the people who are affected are women. As much as the prostate cancer do affect men, but women seems to be majorly affected by this device called cancer. So it is a deadly. I can remember that one of my aunties also passed on as a result of the cervical cancer. So I saw with my own eyes how terrible it is for one to suffer from cancer. I have known of my relatives who passed on. You might also be having your relatives who have really passed away because of cancer, and we need to really get to the bottom of this, identify what are the causes and what can be done to see that we get rid of this vice. It is a deadly vice. It's so terrible how it affects one. If you have ever seen somebody suffering from cancer, you will not really like it. So it is our responsibility to see that we continue to talk the language of getting rid of some of these deadly disease that is really eating us up right here. So that is something that I think it is important that I should be able to bring to your attention. Remember the select committee that was selected by the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Anita Moong, was able to present the that is the NSSF saga report after a thorough investigation and having meetings with the people. And allow me to tell you this morning that Parliament report found no evidence of misuse of funds. NSSF bosses finally speaks out and give reasons why they will not resign. So that is something that you need to know. The Parliament Select Committee report on the status of the National Security Fund found no evidence that member funds were stolen or misused by the board or management. Announcing the fund's response to the Parliament report for the first time, NSSF boss chairman, that is Dr. Peter Kimboa, commonly known as Dr. PK, told media at Workers' House yesterday in Kampala that the absence of any such evidence is also an affirmation that members' savings can be trusted with the fund. Quoting him verbatim, saying that first of all, we applaud the committee. It is not easy to investigate an entity of our size and complexity over a 20-year period in 2 to 3 weeks, but they were able to do so. We therefore like to register our appreciation for the rigorous and robust probe. He, however, revealed that from the report, there is neither evidence nor conclusion that any individual at the fund had stolen member funds, despite numerous allegations in the media purporting bribery and mismanagement of the funds. Quoting him further, saying that in effect, the committee report brings to light the fact that the famous 6 billion was never disbursed, nor was the 1.8 billion shared among board members. The work plans have not been approved by the board, and that is according to Dr. Kimboa. He noted that the current NSSF board has not and will not compromise our fiduciary duty to all NSSF members to ensure prudent and profitable management of the fund. You have to know that on 1st of March 2023, the committee chairman, that is Honorable Winnie Mbaka, presented a report to Parliament whose recommendations were adopted last week on March 9th, 2023. The committee had earlier been selected by the Speaker of Parliament to investigate the alleged mismanagement of NSSF fund right there. So Dr. Kiboa added that the fund only refrained from responding to the report to enable the parliamentary process to take its course, but that should in no way be construed to mean that the fund agrees with all the contents and conclusions of the report. Quoting him further verbatim, saying that in some instances we find the report devoid of important context and contains inaccuracies, especially regarding investments. Now, for instance, he says that the fund has a total of 210 investments. However, only one, the West Nile Golf Club, has lost value. In our opinion, the fact that the committee had to go back almost 2 decades to find one investment that has lost value shows that the fund has had a stellar performance over the years. So you have to know that for us in West Nile Golf Club has been mentioned as one of the NSSF investments that has lost value. So this golf ground that you see here, it is an investment of NSSF. There is a structure that has stayed like that for over years, but currently it is being rented out. And the question here is, who are the people collecting, local revenue from such building? Is it NSSF or some individuals who are trying to masquerade around us the management of that golf ground? So that is the Severs investment for your information. For those who do not know, that golf ground does not belong to any person, but it belongs to the Severs because it is one of the NSSF investments that we have right here in Western Subregion. For your information, and as Western Television, we shall be able to dig deeper and find out what exactly happened, who were the persons involved, and according to the Select Committee report, there are names that have been mentioned in that particular committee report. And we need to know where are they, and are they still with us here in West Nile, in our country, Uganda, or there are others who have gone to exile. These and more we shall be able to find out. And I have been told that President Yoweri Museveni's coming has been postponed to 11 up to 12 April. So first was expected to be here last week from 10 to 11. Never surfaced. So another information that comes that President is expected in Western Sub-region from 29th to 30th. But according to the information that I have really got, and our newsroom has also received, is that President Yoweri Museveni is coming to West Nile has been postponed until that is next month around 10th to 11th or 11th to 12th, right there. So for the West Nile people, President Yoweri Museveni is not expected this particular month, but is expected in the month of April, as we will be moving towards celebrating. I think it would be after Easter celebration, because Easter is exactly on 9th. For your information, and then Easter Monday is on Monday, and maybe he won't be able to come give the Easter break already there for your information. For those who need to know this, that President Yoweri Museveni will not now come on 29th, he will not be in this region from 29th to 30th, as it has been disclosed. So he will be expected in the region next month, the month of April, immediately after Easter, especially after we are done with the Easter break. Remember, Easter is on 9th, that is Sunday, and then Easter Monday is on 10th, then 11th, 12th, and that those are the days that President Yoweri Museveni is expected together with the ministers and also other technical people from the ministries, departments, and agencies. And you have to know that key on top of the agenda of the president's coming to West Nile is following up on the implementation of the parish development model. And you have to know that West Nile, I would use the word, is still lagging behind as far as implementation of the parish development model is concerned, because just last week the team from the parish development model secretariat, they were right here in West Nile sub-region, moving in different districts and finding out how they can really speed up on the processes of disbursing the revolving funds to the beneficiaries. So maybe they want to give a month for these beneficiaries to make good use of the money that they are receiving from the banks that have been selected to be the one disbursing these monies to the beneficiaries. So it is now up to the technical people and also the political wing to do this provision, so that if the President of the Republic of Uganda comes to this region meeting different people, he will not be embarrassed after asking at random from the members of the public whether they are aware of the parish development model. And I do not know whether the people who are being prepared as model beneficiary in as far as implementation of the parish development model is concerned, because as the head of state will be interested in visiting some of these beneficiaries from their homes and finding out how this PDM program is really improving their lives. And it should be the right beneficiary. It should not be state managed kind of a selection of the beneficiaries. I believe that the people who will be selected as the role model beneficiaries in this PDM program will be the right persons who have received the money and they're properly making good use of the money. Not those that will be selected simply because we trust the president. That will not be good, and it will not really be nice for the members of the public to get to understand. All right, dear viewer, you need to know that we are 8 minutes to the top of the hour of that is 8 AM right here on Western Television. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we still have more for you this morning, as I will be able to disclose for you what is happening in other parts of this particular country that we do have here in Uganda. Thank you very much. It is Kokoliriko show on Western Television. My name is Kokoliriko. Goodbye.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Miss Uganda 2023 finale. The wait is over. 470 contestants, 21 finalists, one big stage. Who will be the next beauty queen? The battle for the crown is on. This is the most beautiful showdown, the most unpredictable competition. Miss Uganda 2023 Grand Finale on March 18th, live on Makula TV at 8 p.m. only on Star Times. Miss Uganda 2023, beauty beyond looks.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
We'll be back. You're still watching West Nile Television. My name is Dennis Oringi, and this is Kokoliriko Show. It's a show that comes away every Monday through Friday, and today happened to be Tuesday, 14th of March 2023. All right, more on our stories. Today I have to tell you that Amnesty denounces police misuse of rubber bullets is something that you need to know, that it is important that we should really get to understand here that Amnesty has denounced police use of rubber bullet, and that is according to the information that you need to know this morning about the use of rubber bullets. And this has just been disclosed some 2 hours ago, that Amnesty has denounced police misuse of rubber bullets worldwide. So I do not know whether this will be taken up by the police officers that we have in this country, Uganda, whether they will desist from using rubber bullets, because according to Amnesty International, they are saying that it is not good and it is not really recommended for police officers to use rubber bullets, even if when it comes to dispersing the members of the public. So that is what I can really give you this morning, because when it comes to the usage of rubber bullets, by the way, for your information, we have known of people who have got, who lost their lives as a result of the rubber bullets being used on them, more especially during the time that these police officers are dispersing members of the public who might have really gathered for a reason best known by them. So that is according to the information that is coming through. Another issue that you need to know, that the coronavirus was able to foster 350 buses off roads, and I can see Gaga is one of the bus companies that have not come back to business as a result of COVID-19 and other business challenges that we do have here. So what you need to know, that a government source said the number of passenger buses has dropped to 869 from about 1,200 before the pandemic in 2020. And in the long run, the drop in the number of buses on the roads often leads to an increase in the transport fares. This is one of the reasons that we are really witnessing the spike in the transport fares that we are paying whenever we are traveling to some parts of this country. So more than 350 buses have left the public transport business after their companies suffered financial difficulties due to the coronavirus pandemic, and this is according to what the Daily Monitor has really issued today. So a government source said the number of passenger buses has dropped to, that is 869 from about 1,200 before the pandemic in 2020. Now the source attributed the drop to financial problems that the bus companies suffered after the economy was locked down twice over COVID-19. And the Gaga Bus is one of the big bus companies that closed the last year. The chairperson of United Bus Drivers Association, that is none other than Yunus Shigundo, confirmed the drop in the number of passenger buses operating in the country, attributing it to high operational cost and shortage of passengers, and that is something that you need to know. He said even the bus companies that managed to resume operations after the lockdown were faced with a shortage of passengers as well. So this is something I felt it is important that we should be able to know this morning, that out of the 350 buses that are supposed to be on road, Gaga Bus Company is one of the the bus companies that have not really come back on road due to the financial challenges that affected them as a result of COVID-19 lockdown. Something also that you need to know, which is really so serious that we need to join hands together and we fight, is that 14 million Ugandans still practice open defecation, and that's according to the report that you need to know this morning. And this report, according to Dr. Diana Twine, who is the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, she says that the practice is in both urban and rural areas. Yeah, I think I can confirm this. Even move to these parts of, move to some parts of a rural city. There are some people who still defecate outside like dogs. Cats are even better than them. Because for the cats, what they do is that after defecating, after dropping, what they do, they cover up. You understand? Meaning that they are really very conscious compared to human beings. It's quite unfortunate that cats, the pet cats, are even, the pet animals, are even better than us human beings who have brains. And we pretend that we are wise or wiser than other animals that we do have. But for your information, there are some animals that are wiser than us. And when it comes to defecation or droppings, and cats among some of the animals that are very conscious, they don't defecate anyhow, like us human beings, that we just squat with us, we don't mind of our sizes, we don't mind of who we are. Even somebody who is putting on a nice suit will even still go out, defecate outside. It's bizarre. It's quite unfortunate. So Dr. Diana Twine called for collective efforts for all ministries, departments and agencies and non-government organizations, leaders and citizens to be responsible for their health in order to reduce the burden of preventable diseases on the healthcare system. At least 14.6 million people, representing 32.4% of the total population, still practice open defecation. A Ministry of Health official has said According to Dr. Diana Twine, the ministry's permanent secretary, the practice in both urban and rural areas. And it is very common in rural areas. In urban areas, there are these one who look around and there are no human beings, and poof, after that they don't even, clean their ash. That is something that is very wrong. So we are in the rainy season, and very soon, if we continue with such practice, we are going to register what we call cholera in our community. So let us desist from this practice. Quoting her further saying that despite government's interventions on sanitation and hygiene, Uganda continues to grapple with the water and sanitation challenges, with 23% and 9.4% of the population still practicing open defecation in rural and urban areas respectively. And that's according to Dr. Diana Atwine. Said while officiating at the launch of the Sanitation Week in Kampala. She's added that similarly 36% of communities in the country have basic sanitation facilities, 24% of which are in rural areas and 47.9% are in urban areas, while hand washing in rural areas is at 35.8% and 53.8% for urban. Dr. Diana Twine also expressed concern over the continued poor food hygiene and safety practices such as selling food from unclean premises, food preparation over open drainage lines, indiscriminate disposal of waste and poor housing. She noted that poor sanitation is linked to transmission of diseases such as cholera, dysentery, hepatitis A and E, typhoid and polio, and that is exacerbates stunting among children. So it is something that you need to know this morning, that open defecation is still very common. I know of some districts that we have in West Nile. I do not want to mention the districts this morning. People who come from this district or who are in that district, they will really there are some of these issues that I don't want to discuss now, because they will be saying that I am not, I am not supposed to mention those kind of issues. But allow me to say this, that please, if you're a human person, you have your head, you have your eyes, and you have your nose, you have your mouth, and you have the brain, and you went to school or to the school. It is important that you have a latrine or a toilet for yourself. It's not good to defecate outside. That shows the level of backwardness that you still, live in. It's not good at all. It's not good. Can we try to manage our sanitation properly? At least dig a hole and try to cover up that particular hole and make a very nice makeshift or a very nice, building over that hole. And that is where you go and drop. So if you cannot prepare a very simple place for you to always keep your feces, then you should not be counted among the human beings, because you will not know what you want in life, and it becomes very hard for you to know what is important for you yourself. If we still have those who continue to defecate outside, they defecate along the streets of Arua City, shame on you this morning. If we still have those who call themselves parents, and you don't have where your family members can go and defecate, shame on you. You are not good to be a parent. If you still call yourself a father of some children, and you cannot put a latrine for your family members, shame on you. If you are a father-in-law of somebody and you don't have a latrine at your home, and you expect your in-laws to come and also defecate the same way you defecate, shame on you. There's a place somewhere in this country, if you are to go there, they will tell you men, they should go to the east, women go to the west. So you go and sort yourself there. In 2011, I was able to go to Moroto. It was my first time to go to Moroto. And what I saw in Moroto, I hope it has changed. If it has not changed, then we need civilization. Yeah, what I saw there, for the 1 week I was there in Moroto town, I can confirm to you that open defecation is still existing. Moreover, in these big towns, by the way, that is something that you need to know. So dear viewer, it is important that we should be able to see how can we fight this vice together. What can be done to those who don't have latrines? Can we have this conversation? What can be done to those who are caught defecating outside? Should they be taken for life imprisonment? Because what they're doing is not nice. There are people who have the latrines, but the state of that latrine is appalling. You find the wall is almost breaking. You find even when you are entering, you have to enter when you're very careful. If you're not very careful, you will go with the feces all. So let us be serious when we are talking about defecation. And open defecation is real, and we cannot run away from this. And I would really urge the members of the public, can we really join hands together to fight this? It is one of the reasons why we are registering some of the strange diseases that we do have. The flies everywhere. Sometimes even now I don't feel happy eating food prepared from somewhere that you didn't even see how the preparations were done. Then the food is brought at the roadside for you to eat. Sometimes it's good to eat from the source and you see how the person is preparing what you are eating. Because there are some people who are selling this food stuff to us. They come from a family that have got no latrine. And the flies are everywhere. You never know. While they were transporting this food, the flies had already taken their share. And for you, you'll eat second after them. And so it is quite unfortunate that we still live in a society where people don't appreciate the importance of having latrines. We still live in a society where people don't mind to have latrines, to provide somewhere that they can really use. We still live in a society where people urinate in a bathing shelter. They cannot differentiate bathing shelter with urinal shelter. And all these, they look to be very, very simple thing, but it is very, very important in our life. I know one would be saying, why is Dennis Oringi talking about this? We know all these things. Yes, you know. If you know, why not to have latrine? Why not to have urinal shelter different from bathing shelter? And when a visitor comes to your home and wants to his him or herself, the visitor finds it a little bit very hard. Why do we pay less attention to our latrines? We have latrines without doors. We have latrines that are leaking. We have latrines that are almost falling, and we don't care. Why? And this is a very simple thing, but we cannot really pay attention to. There are people who drink every day. They are drinking over 10,000, but they don't have where to defecate, even where to urinate. You understand? So I think this report is a very good report, and we need to challenge ourselves and we come out of this mindset that some of us still do have. Akaji nwing itwon jal itie kan nyonge de lum kan pialo shet. Itie na shidi moko badit sana. Nia itie chwar ngate. Itie jal wod ngate. Itie wega wiya. Itie mega wiya. Re ipiele lum. Kanyongi tengudi genu guok chochoro kajango magajango denyo oloyowa. don't get any shit, Madrid Sana Nia. What put with Dano, Morty could get we or more tune or partner or get you a two loyal, she shake. What could to learn Mukendo lawyer, why paro? Kungeo Lambe. Kajango gonna appeal movie shet pare. And the 1 or 2 in the Dano in the appeal umushet wango. Or I can was sambala kumeni, Kakoto she will walk at her. A young go, caught will walk or shed and to turn up peak and mitwamo. P. no makibini maduro. En ka isha ku keji washine shakusho la benaya jumia wola kiyo ngatoroga roga kun kenwaho pegma itieka ni timo rema utieka ni dok ve ibenge e don shala dano makwo shala dano ma wigitiu pere texana ni neno ni ya pegma ai ku di iwa wa shwalo gi ikabedo ma de ma je bo pege e kabedo ma de ke ete soroni o di sagate milash. What you could do more candy or the Soroni make it to a long at the room back of Soroni there. Soroni only Uling, a linger, come I going to put the came on to make a money that could style Mokuma. We want the ear. A kind young with a mouth, okay, young with a make a young generator care, Mautic and a chorus she itish. And let me my bedroom go. And all my Quanania, Soroni Mwakawate can you be you Soroni. When young, I give him a kind young or the only re. Ya kaiga me yubo soroni mogo makane nyongo tap chiva ngi lego pe ni amurame Maria ipongo grasa rote kuri ibolo shup tabe pi lela ndu anga shell bongi no ngi ibo kuri lela eno ngo beru go pej madano tiyo ko ba ko bet pej maber e soroni mi pas piri weke be soroni maleng makai monde iere yoli nyongo yoli ripi sawa moko kanwa ngati moko de kan seide e ke pondi soroni ko manok yo ke kudere. Endo kawati ku soro ne mokuma ka nyongo pe dakika e nyongo pe sake ni kwana shell ario adek angwena bich ini la banga shell bongo no yebu la dele go la piana shell soro ne ramu yungo ni shungida e ka shungo ta bi soro ne ibitingu wi soro ne de bi ba e wo ko diwi so e bedo berongo no wone ne ya la mi piela shat soa shell digi no ma ko be dumba o yubo soroni wakati pimilogo ko sabuni beriga keno iwo ko di soroni wak chingi maber ido ki pas perde bede maber kuni ket mu soroni perde ube mateka kesha yuri ti mo rombe ku kar min nego mu soroni e soroni ba jomo kene ke monda ko mai per lego per mureme Maria e kiwo mungo yani ke wakati mo pia woki e kano yiti kare ke nyaai jaka kendu piano mu soroni bera kesha ngo aparo ni amaka wosi lambe nem malworo mbaye pian wadano wange ngoma ber wange ngoma rash mako betu kare me poko penyango maber ko penyango marash e koma mwa karo dongo maber tuone mo kene chalo kolera gi ko duogu wo be shin bere kare me wango tuo enine ni kom winjo le me mombe ko chan nge ngesh mo te ko no ma ko nen ya wo boko kabedo mo tie ko maber e kasroni peripe neni e tongo soroni futi moko o be nywara ni ya jomoto jo tergi futa bero glo jo mo ko mo pe shet mo go ko swa e dongo ma ko neni ya wo tongo soroni wa giero wi soroni maber wa giero soroni de maber dogola wa ketu ento dogola ne moko ma jobe ketu ma leire e ketu jo moko ma kom gidongo be mondo go soroni ber ngo da kesha gidwango peko no ma ko neni ya soroni mo ka wa yobo wa ketu dogola ne de obere maber mo li yuju mo dongo de mo yuju matendo de e be dongo soroni moko ma juma dongo be kare dira le de kula futgi e be do bera kesha ngo e be soroni ma de ka ngato shungu e tingungo wi soroni ne kudie wiye e be soroni maka ishungi iere mane inyongo manongo chunyiyom. We have some latrines once you have entered in, it cannot allow you even to stand. You will now be just like this. So if you're unbuttoning your trouser, you have to bend and you have to search for your buttons. And such latrines are not good. And let us make these shelters comfortable for us. There are some latrines without even doors, and when you enter inside, your hand has to be out. And you know the principle of defecation. If you're defecating, you have to bring your hand back. So there's no person who will defecate while the hand is outside and will push. So what you do, if you want to notify that there's somebody who is inside the latrine, you have to push your hand outside to give a sign, and which is unethical. And this is not nice and it's not allowed. It's not good for us as human beings to behave in that manner. That for you to give a signal that there's somebody inside the latrine, you have to use your hand to tell the person who is coming. So can we try to make the latrine a comfortable place for us? When we go in there, we can even take 5 minutes without complaining. But we have some latrines, once you have entered like this, you will be saying Hail Mary very fast so that you leave the latrine. Some of our latrines, the doors cannot even be accessed by people who have got weight and body size. Those who have heavy weight, once they have stepped like this, you find that the latrine is now going with them down. There are those who cannot even enter. They have to force themselves to enter using their side, their side way, which is not good. So when you're constructing something, think about the human beings that will be able to use this. Don't think about yourself. Don't say that I'm a very small-bodied person, so I think the door is fit for me and my family members. Remember that some latrine will be able to be used by visitors who will visit you. And there are visitors who have different sizes. And it will not be good when a visitor fails to access your latrine. And you will begin running to the bush. It's not important for that. Dear viewer, 19 minutes past the hour over 8 a.m. right here on Western Television. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we shall be able to conclude the show this morning. My name is Dennis Oringi.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Miss Uganda 2023 finale. The wait is over. 470 contestants, 21 finalists, one big stage. Who will be the next beauty queen? The battle for the crown is on. This is the most beautiful showdown, the most unpredictable competition. Miss Uganda 2023 Grand Finale on March 18th, live on Makula TV at 8 p.m. only on Star Times. Miss Uganda 2023, beauty beyond looks.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, we'll be back. You're still watching Western Television, 21 minutes past the hour over 8 a.m. right here on Western Television. Kokoliriko show is the show you are watching, and my name is Dennis Oringi. Allow me to take you to the international scene this morning. You need to know for the Catholics. I have to tell you that Pope Francis' 10th anniversary at Multos Annos Holy Father. And that's something that you need to know. For the Catholics, you understand it. For those who understand Latin, you understand what I'm trying to talk about here. As Pope Francis celebrates the 10th anniversary of his the pontificate, you have to know that there are issues that you need to get to know. Who is this particular Pope we are talking about? What is his real name? By the way, Pope Francis, his real name is George Mario Bergoglio. So these are his names for your information, or this is his name for those who understand, speech properly. So we don't say my names are, but it's important that you say my name is. So Pope's name is George Mario Bergoglio. The 13th March of 2013 is when he was given the mantle to lead the Holy Catholic Church. And he appeared for the first time at the central loggia of St. Peter's Basilica, dressed in white. And that was on 13th March, and that was yesterday. So 10th year. 10 years down the road is what Pope Francis is celebrating. Along with the affectionate homage to his predecessor, Emeritus, his initial greeting already contained several silent features of his pontificate. The pontificate is his mission, because as a pope, he is the pontiff, for your information, and his mission, we call it a pontificate, and that is according to the Catholic language. So the emphasis of being the Bishop of Rome, of the church that presides in charity over all the churches. The centrality of God's faithful people, from whom the new pastor asked for a blessing before he gave one himself, and a prayer for a great fraternity in the world torn apart by injustice, violence, and wars. And we all know that Pope Francis has been touring different countries in the world, more especially countries that have been having injustices and also violence and also wars. Recently, he was in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and he proceeded to the South Sudan country. You have to know that in the days that followed, the Pope explained the meaning of the name he had chosen, linking to the dream of a church that is poor and for the poor. So you have to know that the dream of the church is a church that is poor and for the poor. So, in other words, the Catholic Church stands on this, that it is a church that is poor and the church is for the poor. Francis of Assisi said that the name of poverty, the man of peace, the man who loves and protects creation. The man of poverty, the man of peace, the man who loves and protects creation. And if all of us, we can really stick to this wise saying by Francis of Assisi, that you should be a man who is poor, you should be a man of peace, and you should be a man who loves and protects creation. I think that is all. He has summarized everything about human beings. That let us be poor. In our poverty, we should be people who love peace. And we should be people who love and protect creation. We should be people who love and protect creation. What else can we talk about? You understand? So, as a person, I am Dennis Oringi. I am a poor person, for your information. But the beautiful thing about me, I love peace. I don't want to be at war with somebody. And I am a person who loves and I protect the creations. So if you love and protect creations, let me tell you, you will not be able to kill your colleague. You will not be able to plan bad things for your friends. You will not destroy the environment. You understand? You will really continue to protect the environment. And that is what Francis of Assisi is telling us. And you have to know that in 2013, in November, Pope published his apostolic extortion. Apostolic exhortation that says, Evangelii Quandium, which offered the true roadmap of his pontificate. With it, he asked Christians to bear witness to the joy of the gospel with their lives, as well as to bring everywhere, and in particular to those who suffer most, the closeness and tenderness of our God, who forgives, welcomes, and embraces. 10 years later, we are now enjoying the fruits of his preachings. And this is something that you need to know. Dear viewer, 3 minutes to 8:30 I'm right here on Western Television. My name is Dennis Oringi. With this particular short message from the man of God who was appointed on 13th of March 2013 to lead the Holy Catholic, Apostolic Church, the Catholic Church. Allow me to say, Have a blessed morning. And if we can continue to admit that we are poor, and we should continue also to really be men of peace, and we continue to be men who love and protect the environment, then other issues will be history in our life as human beings. But if we continue to brag that we are rich, we continue to brag that we have everything, we continue to say that no, we don't need peace, we have to be at war with people. If we continue to say that we don't love ourselves, why should I love you? What do you have for me? I don't eat from your home. Those kind of talks destroys our well-being as human beings. And if we continue to destroy the environment, I have to tell you that then we are heading to doom. My name is Dennis Oringi. Good morning, and thank you very much for being with us. We do appreciate you very much for always being with us. It is Kokoliriko Show. Catch me again tomorrow for the same program, the same time, here on Western Television. Have the blessed morning.
The region.